The undead are banging at the door, bandits have stolen the meds, and your best fighter is one bite away from becoming your worst enemy. One thought goes through your characters' heads: if only we had YouTube to watch a tips and tricks video for surviving in State of Decay 2. Now, I've not yet discovered video streaming in Undead Lab's zombie survival game, but I can offer my best advice for getting through the days in one piece. As always, please do add your own wisdom in the comments below, and subscribe to Rock Paper Shotgun for more of this lovely stuff. Let's start with a quick tip to make State of Decay 2 a little more convenient. When you start the game, you need to manually set the multiplayer option to offline in order to properly pause the game. Pause in online mode and go for something to eat, and when you come back you'll find that your hero has become something to eat. Even if you aren't in a co-op session, the game defaults to online mode, which means it carries on running even when you hit escape to enter the options. It's a minor trick, but it does help. It won't take long to find your new favourite zombie whacking tool, but the problem with whacking zombies is that tough skulls cause weapons to dull with use. In order to extend the life of your deadliest weapons, you want to use instant kill moves as much as possible. When faced with a single zombie, dodge behind them with a tap of the B button or the C key, use the right trigger or left control key to grapple, and then use the X button or left mouse click to execute them. It's a move designed for stealth kills, but it works as long as you are behind them, and as it uses your default melee weapon, it'll protect your stronger implements for busier encounters when you really need them. In the real world, car doors are mainly used to store Werther's Originals and that CD of Queen's greatest hits that you don't want people to know about. In State of Decay 2, car doors let you wipe out zombies without damaging the vehicle. As fun as it is to splatter zombies on the hood, it does eat through a car's health. The doors are impervious to zombie guts though, so just open it with the X button or a left mouse click to splat them. There's no real benefit to hitting normal zombies aside from the satisfaction of seeing them disintegrate. Do take down red-eyed plague zombies though, as some of them drop plague samples used to make blood plague cures. Not every red zombie drops this stuff, so look out for the glowing pink lumps or the looting symbol before stopping for a scavenge. Oh, and don't hit the fat bloater zombies. They fill your car with toxic gas, which is just about as bad as Queen's greatest hits. Another quality of life tip is how to unload your car to your base. In the original State of Decay, you would automatically unload items stored in your boot by parking one of the spaces assigned to the base. This has been changed in the sequel, and so it's very easy to think you have to keep running back and forth between the trunk and the supply locker, which is very tedious. When you park your car in the base's parking space, you have to open the trunk inventory and then press the right trigger on the control pad or the T key on the keyboard to transfer an item inside the base. It'll save you so much time. Surviving in the early stages of State of Decay 2 is all about efficient looting. Every trip you make out of your base, you want to bring back as many resources as possible. This way you'll save on petrol, ammo, health items, the works. First up, equip your character with a big backpack. The biggest I've found has 8 slots compared to the common 6. If one survivor has a big backpack but is too fatigued to do a scavenging run, then get them to put the backpack in the community supply locker before switching to a more able hero. Secondly, find a car with a large trunk. Trunks are great for transporting resource rucksacks, as survivors can only carry one at any given time. To deposit a rucksack, approach the trunk, press the X button or the E key, highlight your carried rucksack and press the A button or the spacebar to store it. I started my game with a car with 4 item slots, but switched to this beast with 6 spaces in the back as soon as I found it. It's a hugely useful tool, so protect the car like it's one of your best survivors. Finally, you want another survivor along for the ride. Talk to them in the base and invite them to become a follower. Before you leave, talk to them again and switch control to them to make sure they've got an empty backpack. There's no point bringing a follower carrying their own weight in snacks. When you're out in the field, you can use character switching to make sure both characters carry a resource rucksack and a full backpack of goodies. Now, with a big enough car boot and 2 survivors, you can bring back 8 resource rucksacks in one trip, compared to just one when you venture out alone without a vehicle. Even with a smaller car, you'll be hoovering up resources in no time, giving you much more space to breathe. Any building you clear can be made into an outpost. These link you back to your base, more on that in a second, and can earn you resources. Now, you'll be told what benefits you'll get before you buy an outpost with influence. At the start of the game, you're limited to 2 active outposts. I like to pick ones that give me daily food and med supplies. This shop gives me food, for example. Now, they won't generate enough to make the base self-sufficient, but they'll give you a buffer before people start getting nasty. The other thing to consider is location. As outposts give you access to your supply locker, building an outpost far away from your base makes more sense. This way you can loot on the other side of the map without having to make the return trip to the base to drop off items. You can't use this method to teleport the larger resource rucksacks, but it's great for clearing out weapons, mods, crafting parts from properties that are far away. Another thing to bear in mind, if you're exploring an area far from home and find yourself under attack, don't be afraid to use influence to build an emergency outpost. This way you'll gain access to all your health items, guns and ammo from the supply locker. If you are short of influence to buy a new outpost, you can use the base menu to remove an existing outpost. You are refunded a chunk of influence. It isn't the most efficient way to do business, but it's better to keep a valued survivor alive than hoard currency. Infestations are a moderate threat that can add up to a bigger problem. Ignore them and the infection can spread, and the more infected buildings there are, the lower your base's morale will be. An easy morale boost is to go out and clean out infected buildings. The easiest way to do this is to drive your car outside the building in question and honk your horn to draw out the zombies. As the hordes spill out, you can splatter them over your car. Yes, it does damage to the vehicle, but it's balanced out as you don't have to waste health items or ammo fighting these larger gangs. You'll still want to prioritise the screamers though, so that they don't call in reinforcements. This might mean hopping out of the car and popping them with a headshot before they start to make noise. One of your main objectives on each map is to clear out plague hearts, which are the source of the freaky red-eyed zombies who infect survivors with blood plague. You can find them by calling for radio assistance, though this is stupidly expensive. You're better off identifying them from the top of survey points, or just keeping an eye out for the cloud of red mist above a building. Plague hearts can be damaged with any weapon, but your old reliables are going to let you down. Melee weapons are slow and require you to fight up close, which is a bad idea as the plague heart sprays out a poison gas in self-defense. Guns are quicker but will eat through ammo and draw zombies to the sound. No, the quickest and easiest solution is to use thrown explosives. For this I recommend pipe bombs or molotovs. The smaller soda can bombs are too weak to do the required damage. Throw pipe bomb after pipe bomb in quick succession and you'll destroy a heart in no time. Pipe bombs and molotovs can be found during searches, but for a guaranteed supply you need to build a workshop at your base. To build pipe bombs your workshop needs power. I used a small generator mod for this, and for molotovs you need to upgrade it to workshop 2. Do either of these and you can produce endless explosives and chew through plague hearts with ease. In truth I prefer pipe bombs to molotovs as the flames can backfire in the small spaces and burn you to a crisp. I'd also avoid bringing NPC followers with you. The areas are swarming with plague zombies and so friends stand a higher chance of contracting the disease. No point going to harvest plague samples for a cure if it's instantly wasted on healing the people who collected it.
Can anyone hear me? I could really use some help out here.
You're really not welcome here.
While we're on the subject of things followers are terrible at, they are weirdly awful at fighting other human enemies. Hostile people tend to be carrying guns, but your allies try the same tactics they use in a zombie fight, running up with melee weapons as bullets pour into their heads. It's the quickest way of thinning out your community, so if you're going to hostile territory with violence in mind, or worry that violence could break out, don't bring a friend for the ride. As an added twist to the knife, any follower that does die then becomes a zombie, forcing you to kill one of your one-time friends. Fun! One of the big questions early on is how to start growing your base. Obviously, the facilities you build will change how you approach your wider mission, and there are many valid paths. But early on, there are a few easy wins to be had. Health and hungriness are the 2 killers early on. An infirmary is important in order to heal badly wounded survivors and to eventually cure the blood plague, and the garden sees a tiny bit of food trickle into the supplies every day. The garden becomes much more useful if you can find fertilizer or gardening tool mods to upgrade production. Personally, I like to have the workshop next in order to build the explosives that you'll be using to fight plague hearts, as previously noted. It's also worth upgrading the command center when you can, as this adds outpost outpost slots. The more outposts you have, the more resources are trickling in on a daily basis. One thing to watch out for: do not build multiple projects at once. Building makes noise, and noise draws zombie attacks. You can judge how noisy your base is from the threat level in the bottom left of the base screen. Pile on multiple jobs at once and it'll shoot up, so maybe cancel a job to bring it under control. There are few facilities that are so urgently needed that you want to risk multiple injuries from a zombie siege, as demonstrated here.
Knock it down, finish it off.
Those are the ways I've been surviving the zombie apocalypse, but I'm keen to hear your own tricks and tips. State of Decay 2 is pretty flexible in how you approach the challenge, so there is no right or wrong way to be doing things. Add your ideas in the comments below and let fellow viewers judge them with a thumbs up or down. And while you're at it, why not give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel? Even better, hit the little notification bell while you do it so that you know whenever a new video arrives. I promise to only serve you the good stuff. Hopefully I'll see you around these parts soon. Goodbye!